Today we would be looking at a very important concept, which is we'll be deriving the drift velocity in terms of electric field. So drift velocity, the concept we have already explained on this channel, so look at the video. The drift velocity is the net velocity of the charge carriers due to the electric field. So in this case, I have applied electric field in this direction and there is a net motion of the electrons in the opposite direction due to this electric field, and that is what we call the drift velocity. Note that drift velocity is the net velocity. In general, the electrons are moving randomly everywhere, but if I like this, right, more or less like this, but if I add the individual velocities of all of these electrons, then I would find that there is a net component of their velocity. After the addition, there will be a small component of their velocity which would be opposite to the electric field, which is due to the electric field, of course, and that is what we call the drift velocity. So that is, we'll use the symbol of Vd for drift velocity. Okay, in various books you will find various other symbols, but this is what we would be using. Sometimes it's denoted by U also. Okay, but we would be using the symbol Vd, the drift velocity. Okay, the next important concept that we will be looking at today, we will be using today, is the concept of relaxation time. Now, relaxation time is the mean time or the average time between two consecutive collisions. So in the case of our copper, the charge carriers would be electrons. So we would be defining the relaxation time in terms of the average time. It will be the average time between two consecutive collisions for an electron. Okay. So these are the electrons, just assume. And why does the relaxation time become important? Because we assume that at the time the collision happens, right? So the collision is happening at this moment of time. At this time, we assume that the electron would be moving in completely random direction. So after collision, the electron would start moving in completely random direction, and slowly and gradually it would gain the drift velocity opposite to the direction of the electric field. Okay, it will gain this velocity due to the electric field after the collision. Okay, so at the time of collision, we just assume that whatever is the velocity is completely random. It will be just thrown anywhere. Okay, so this is the u, or the initial velocity. After this collision has happened, the electron would start gaining velocity, and this velocity that it would gain would of course be affected by the electric field until it suffers another collision. Okay, so this is t equal to 0 and this is t equal to tau, and this is the relaxation time. Okay, at this point it suffers another collision, and at this point again its velocity becomes completely random. Okay, so that is what we assume, that whenever an electron collides, its velocity becomes completely random, and then it is after the collision it starts gaining a component of velocity due to the electric field. So that is the assumption here, and that is why the relaxation time becomes important for our derivation, and you will see as we do the derivation, you will see this now. Okay, so this is the general setup. We have a conductor right here. It is of length L. It has a cross section area of A. There is an electric field due to this applied voltage right here, and because of that electric field there is a current flowing. Now notice that the direction of the electric field and the direction of this is the conventional current, the current due to the positive charges. Okay, and of course because this is the current has been produced due to the electrons, the actual direction of motion of the electrons or their drift velocity is opposite to the direction of the current, or and opposite to the direction of electric field as well. Now let us derive the relationship right here. Okay, so we consider any one electron. We say that its velocity at any point, okay, after the collision. So at the time of collision, we assume that its velocity was u. So this is the first electron. This is right here. Okay, this is our electron we are talking about. At the time of when it suffered the collision, its velocity was u, and after that it started gaining some velocity due to the presence of an acceleration due to this electric field. Now what is the acceleration due to this electric field? The acceleration due to this electric field is of course E into E. Now this is the force due to the electric field. This is the force due to the electric field that this electron is experiencing. Okay, and the force is of course in the direction of electric field. They are vector quantities, and if I multiply electric field by charge, this is the net force in the direction of the electric field. So what would be the acceleration? Now we come to the acceleration. Acceleration is of course is equal to force by mass, that is the mass of the electron. Okay, so that is E by mass of the electron, so divide by mass, and this is of course me, because we are talking about electrons here. If there were some other charge carriers, that's what would come there, that's mass would come there. Okay, so now what do I see? I say that the net velocity at any point in time is the velocity at the time of collision plus the acceleration, the velocity gained due to this acceleration. And what would that be? That would be this acceleration multiplied by time t. Okay, and what is the formula we are using here? We are using this formula. You already know this formula, right? Plus at. Okay, where u is the initial velocity, v is the final velocity. So final velocity will be equal to u1, which is the velocity at the time of last collision, plus E electric field multiplied by, this is the force, we divided by mass, this is the acceleration, plus into this T1, which is the time since the last collision. So T1 is the time since the last collision. Similarly, what about the second electron? So now we are talking about the second electron. Its velocity at any given point, okay, at any given time will be equal to its velocity at the time of the last collision, plus after the last collision again it would have accelerated, and this acceleration would of the second electron would remain the same, multiplied by the time since the last collision, T2, so on and so forth. And we do this for all the n conductors which are present here. So Vn will be equal to Un plus, this would remain the same for everyone. The acceleration that they are feeling does not really change. It only depends upon the our electric field. Okay, so this is the net velocity for all the conductors. We add all of these together. Okay, so this is what we will do. We are going to add all of these together, and the addition I am writing here. Okay, so this is the summation, addition of all of these. So this would become Vi, where I goes from 1 to n, plus is equal to I goes from 1 to n ui, plus, now this is constant, so it will come outside the summation. Very, very simple. Okay, nothing complicated. We are not doing anything complicated here. Summation of ti, again I goes from 1 to n. Now this is the addition of velocities. Let us just find the average final velocity. Average final velocity. So what does that mean? It means that we will divide all of these terms by n. To calculate the average final velocity, we'll have to divide by n, which is the number of charge carriers. So that is, we divide everything by n. So n comes here also. So everything is divided by n. Now let us not put n here, but let us indeed put n here itself. Okay, so now these terms, what are these? Okay, this is the net velocity due to the presence of the electric field. This is the net velocity because it's the average velocity of the electron due to the presence of electric field, and that is by definition our drift velocity, Vd. This is the velocity, average velocity after the electrons have collided. They have just collided, which means that their velocities would largely be random. So this velocity, the sum of these ui's would actually be equal to 0. So this is just 0. This entire term is 0. Plus E divided by me, and this is the average time between collisions across all the electrons, and this is defined to be the relaxation time. We denote it by a symbol known as tau. Okay, so that is the formula for our drift velocity, and it is a very, very important formula. So we'll just simplify it and write it again here. It is Vd is equal to E E divided by ME into tau, where tau is the relaxation time, it is the drift velocity, and we put the vector sign here. Now because in the case of electron the charge is negative, therefore this Vd would be opposite to the direction of E. Okay, this formula always holds. Vd is equal to E, which capital E small e divided by Me into tau, and this formula always holds. In the case of including these its signs and everything, they just come out to be perfect. In the case of negative charges like electron, our Vd, it tells us, would be in opposite to the direction of E. Okay, so this is the formula for drift velocity. Very, very important. Remember this. And relaxation time concept, again very, very important. Conceptual questions have been asked based on that. Full videos are given on DoorstepTutor.com, so definitely do check those out and practice some numerical based on that these formula, again from DoorstepTutor.com. Thank you.